So I've been on an absolute dumpling kick lately, and if any of you have seen my Instagram stories, you'll know that I've made hundreds of dumplings and brought a few friends along for the ride as well. Today I need to use up some beef mince, so decided that instead of the traditional pork gyoza I normally make, we're gonna try something a little different. I'll be showing you guys not only how to make a really delicious spiced beef filling and how to fill and seal dumplings, but also how to make your own dumpling wrappers. I much prefer making my own because it means I can control how thin they are, and all you need are 3 basic pantry staples to make them. This is Jessie from Head Over Meals, and let's get started. First, we're gonna make our dough, which needs to rest in the fridge for at least half an hour. We need 2 parts all-purpose flour, 1 part water, and a pinch of salt. Exact measurements will be up on the blog. You can find the link down below. Dissolve the salt in just boiled water and then make a well in the flour. Add most of the water and start to incorporate the flour in to make a paste and then a dough, using chopsticks or a spatula. If the dough seems too dry, add the remaining water bit by bit. Tip the dough out onto a clean work surface and start to knead until a smooth dough forms. It's hard to give a time frame here because 7.23 minutes of kneading with my hands will be completely different to a professional pastry chef's hands, or yours. For reference though, it usually takes me about 10 minutes. What we're looking for is a smooth ball that isn't dry and crackly and looking like a scratchy foot, but rather like some fat baby cheeks. Knead by pushing the dough out with the heel of your palm, turning the dough slightly, and then rolling the dough back onto itself. Or in short, do something like what I'm doing here. The dough will start coming together and the bottom will round out into a smooth ball. Check if the dough is ready by turning it over and then tucking the sides in. This will stretch the dough and reveal whether it's become smooth and elastic or the gluten hasn't developed enough and it's still cracking and looking dry. When it's ready, wrap the dough in cling film and let it rest in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. While that's resting, we're going to make the filling. We'll need beef mince, capsicum, scallions, ginger, garlic, curry powder, soy sauce, cornstarch, salt, white pepper, sesame oil, and an egg. Mix everything together until well combined. If you don't mind getting down and dirty, I much prefer mixing my filling by hand because I feel like it improves the texture greatly. It also becomes a lot more homogeneous a lot faster than using a spoon or a spatula. I've got some gloves at home as well that come in really handy for this. Taste for seasoning by taking a small pinch of the filling and microwaving it until cooked through. Adjust the mixture to your tastes with either more salt, pepper, soy sauce, or anything else you feel like is lacking or needs to be balanced out. Cover the bowl with some cling film and set it aside in the fridge for now. Dust a clean work surface with cornstarch and have some on the side because you'll definitely need more. Take one of your logs of dough and start pinching off 5-gram chunks. Or if you're a little on the neat freak side like me, use a bench scraper and a scale until you've got the hang of how large each piece should be. If you're following the measurements on my website, this dough should yield about 65 to 70 dumpling skins, so cut each log to about 30 to 35 pieces. Your yield will change, of course, if you like a thicker, bigger, smaller, whatever wrapper. It sounds like a lot, but these dumpling wrappers freeze really well, so if I'm gonna go through the circus of making a couple, it's not a big jump to simply make a lot more. Cover the dough with some cling film or a clean, slightly damp tea towel while you're working. With a liberal dusting of cornstarch, roll each wrapper out into a circle. I like to flatten the dough with the heel of my palm, hold the dough with my left hand and the rolling pin with my right, then turn the dough while gently manipulating it into a circle, or circle-ish. Repeat until all the wrappers are done, and then we can start filling. I've found that while I love getting these wrappers nice and thin and just to the size of my palm like this, it actually becomes much easier to fill and seal if you keep each one on the smaller side. It stops the flappy bits of the dumpling becoming too flappy. Check out the difference in how I used to make my dumplings and what they look like now that my wrappers are slightly smaller and slightly thicker. Grab half of the dumpling filling and keep the rest in the fridge. I'll be showing you a few different styles of wrapping. I'm decent at some and shit at others. Do not give up if yours are ugly. You can seal dumplings with the pleats either facing you or facing away from you. One way will probably be easier and feel a lot more natural. Have a small bowl of water nearby and then take a wrapper in the fingers of one hand. Take a small scoop of filling and push it into the center of the wrapper. I like to use an offset spatula or something flat like a butter knife, but a spoon will work as well. Wet the side of the wrapper where the pleats will be and hold it like a tiny little taco. Start folding and pinching pleats from one side to the other. Make sure no air is trapped inside and pinch the end shut. Ideally, the finished dumpling will have a sweet little crescent shape and nice even tucks. I find it easier to use my thumb and forefinger to fold the pleats facing me, but really cool people can do it with one finger and the pleats facing outward. I saw it on Instagram, tried my best, and did okay. Barely. An easier version of this is to pinch the center of the taco, which kind of keeps everything in place and guides the tucks. Starting from the center and moving out towards one side, fold 3 to 4 pleats and pinch to seal. Repeat on the other side and you'll have almost the same result as the previous methods, but maybe more symmetrical if that's your thing. The 2 other folds I like are the belly button and the triangle. To create the triangle, wet the edges all the way around. Pinch one corner closed until you reach the center, and then push the open flap in, making the second and third corners. These are great for pan frying because you'll get a nice big crispy bottom. To create the belly button, wet half of the wrapper. Make a taco and pinch the center. Continue pinching down both sides and make sure no air is trapped inside. Wet one corner and pull both ends down toward each other. Pinch to seal. These make a perfect little cup for sauces, soups, curries, or what have you. Now chuck a trashy TV show on, get in the zone, and crank out a few more dozen dumplings.
What about my plan to get back at him? I got robbed. My demon was out and she was hungry. Insatiable. I still felt empty. Like the same pissed off bathroom.
If anyone can guess what I'm watching right now, hit pause and let me know in the comments. Place your finished dumplings on a tray lined with baking paper and make sure there's space in between each one. If you're making a big batch like me, now is the time to put these in the freezer to save for a rainy day and finish making the rest of the dumplings. These dumplings can be steamed or gently boiled, but I like to use a combination of pan frying and steaming. The fresh and frozen dumplings cook up in the same way, you just have to add a few extra minutes when you're cooking them straight from the freezer. Add a drizzle of oil to a nonstick pan. When hot, add the dumplings to the pan with the flat bottom down. And if you want to be a little bit extra like me, arrange them in a pattern like a pinwheel or a few straight lines. Pour some water in and cover to steam. After a few minutes, lift the lid and allow the water to evaporate and the bottoms to brown and get crispy. Turn them out onto a plate and enjoy with your favorite sauce. I like a mixture of soy sauce, vinegar, sesame oil, and shichimi togarashi. Serve the dumplings by themselves with freshly steamed rice, or if you have debilitatingly bad food habits like me, with some mee goreng and a sprinkling of scallions. Having something homemade with something straight from a packet makes me feel just that little bit better. Itadakimasu! This is Jessie from Head Over Meals. I love experimenting with dumpling fillings, so let me know in the comments below what you'd love to see dumplified. Yes, I've done Nutella, and yes, it is as delicious as it sounds. If you enjoyed this video, please spread the love by clicking the like button and consider subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to hit the little bell button to get notified when new videos are out. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. When they're frozen and tea towel, what?